You see someone collapse right in front of you. You suspect there might be a cardiac arrest. What do? 1. You need to check if the person is conscious. You do this by speaking to the person or giving them a gentle shake to see if they respond. If the person doesn't respond, they're unconscious and therefore in serious danger. Once you've realized the person's in serious danger, call out for help. Number 2. You need to check the person's breathing. You do this by exposing the person's chest. Tilt the head back so you open up the airway, and then you need to look, listen and feel for about 10 seconds to check if the person is breathing. You do this by placing your ear close to the person's nose and mouth so you can feel and listen to whether they are breathing while you watch the person's chest to see if it rises or falls. Once we've confirmed that there's no consciousness and no breathing, we can say with certainty that it's a cardiac arrest. So, what do you do next? What you do now is call 112 and tell them it's a cardiac arrest, where you are right now, and what phone number they can reach you on if needed. Once you've done that, you need to go and get the defibrillator. If you're on your own dealing with this cardiac arrest, I'd personally make fetching the defibrillator my first priority. Or at least that's what I'd do if the defibrillator was right nearby. I do that because it's absolutely crucial to deliver shock with the defibrillator as quickly as possible. You've now fetched the defibrillator and need to get it unpacked and connected to the patient. The first thing we do, of course, is unpack the defibrillator. Press the green button to switch on the defibrillator, and it will then guide us step by step through the whole process. The first thing the defibrillator will do is ask us to take out the electrodes, which we take out from down here, after which it will ask us to place the electrodes on the person's bare chest. We take out the electrodes by pulling on the green tab, and the electrodes become visible. The electrodes are clearly marked to show where they should be placed on the person. One of them should be placed over the person's right chest muscle. The other goes down on the side, just below the person's left pectoral muscle. It's important that the electrodes are firmly attached to the person. That's why we've got a single-use razor in the defibrillator kit to remove chest hair if there's a lot of it. Additionally, we've got a cloth in the kit to wipe down if things are damp, which they often will be during a cardiac arrest. If it's proving difficult to get to the person's bare chest, there's also a pair of clothing scissors in the bag, so we can cut the clothes off the patient's torso. Once we've delivered a shock to the patient by pressing the orange button, the Heartsine DA2 defibrillator will switch from the analysis screen over to the CPR screen. CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and this is where we now need to give 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths. CPR is done in 2-minute cycles, where you give chest compressions and artificial respiration for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes have passed, the machine will switch back to the announcement screen again. You keep going with CPR until the ambulance arrives and takes over the patient, or until the person starts breathing again. Once you've switched on the defibrillator from Heartsine 2, it will guide you clearly through the whole process. The defibrillator will also, while you're giving chest compressions, tell you whether you're pressing fast enough and whether you're pressing deep enough. So now you're left without a defibrillator. If you've got a service agreement with Heartsine 2, you can give them a call, and then Heartsine 112 come out and set up a lone defibrillator while your other one is away. When your defibrillator is returned, you give Heart 112 another call, and Heart 112 will then come out and reinstall your defibrillator so it's ready for use again. When the ambulance leaves the scene, they will take your defibrillator with them. There are 2 reasons for that. Reason number 1 is that they can download data from the defibrillator for the patient's treatment at the hospital. The second reason is that data from defibrillators is generally collected from all over the world to keep improving resuscitation efforts all the time. Do you need any further advice or guidance? Or would you like to take a first aid course in CPR for cardiac arrest? Then don't hesitate to get in touch with Heartsine 2.